From large-scale multimodal operations like ABP here at Southampton to the smallest of fishing harbours, ports are the lifeblood of many a British community. They directly employ more than 100,000 people and enable countless inland communities and businesses to thrive. Perhaps nowhere else are the fortunes of a local community more entwined with its ports than in Orkney. Their ports and harbours are the cornerstone of plans to embrace green energy and create jobs for future generations of Orcadians.
Scapa Flow in Orkney, Europe's largest natural harbour, looked after by Scotland's smallest local authority. But what Orkney Islands Council might lack in size, it makes up for with innovation, cutting-edge technology and a big commitment to decarbonisation, using renewable energy to secure the future of this resourceful and forward-thinking port. Orkney Harbour Authority is the council department with responsibility for the day-to-day running of the port, and that involves everything from providing tugs and pilots for the busy oil terminal on the island of Flotta in Scapa Flow to running a fleet of 10 ferries serving 13 of Orkney's North and South Isles. But as well as what might be described as the day job, the Harbour Authority has its sights firmly set on the future with an ambitious £230 million harbour development plan.
The master plan is our vision for the future, and we split it down into two parts. The first part is the big economic drivers. That's big drivers for Scapa Flow, looking at a new harbour, a new port, as well as using all our existing big ports like Lyoness, Stromness and Kirkwall to look at creating the ability to build the offshore wind industry, but also operate and maintain it in the 30, 40, 50 years into the future.
Scapa Flow has a 50-year association with the oil industry, a connection which remains an important part of the mix moving forward. But it's wind power and how to utilise the surplus electricity produced by Orkney's many hundreds of commercial and domestic wind turbines which has presented the biggest challenge. The solution could be to turn green electricity into green hydrogen.
Orkney Ferries is involved on the technical level with a project to integrate hydrogen to certain of the propulsion systems on board ferries, and there is a design project currently underway to design a full hydrogen ferry. We're very lucky here in Orkney that we've been able to produce green hydrogen, and so the use of hydrogen as an alternative fuel source is the obvious way to go in some respects once the technology can be proven.
At the other end of the island, Northlink Ferries operates passenger and freight vessels into both Kirkwall and Stromness. The company used to power its vessels while in port by running onboard diesel generators. Now, in a UK first and working closely with the Harbour Authority, those generators have been silenced and the ships instead run on clean, green electricity.
It demonstrates a commitment to the Scottish Government's reducing carbon targets. It supplants Orkney's place in terms of renewables, and we've got a fantastic natural environment here, and it's really important that we protect that. And things like shore power will mean that we're protecting our environment and making our communities healthier well into the future.
Scapa Flow is a huge area. It could accommodate the entire city of Edinburgh with room to spare. Safeguarding this vast marine environment is a top priority for Orkney Harbours. The organisation is the only one of its kind in the country to have its own environmental team on staff, keeping a close eye on how the operation of the port might possibly affect the Flow's marine ecosystem.
I think it's really important to have an in-house team. There's the data longevity, so you have a long-term data that the team understands, and they also understand why they're doing and what they're doing. And it's also really important to realise that we all work and live here. We really care about the environment.
The Harbour Authority has just invested over £12 million in 2 new state-of-the-art tugs to service the requirements of tankers arriving at Flotta and the lucrative ship-to-ship transfer market. And with proposals for a major harbour infrastructure project being progressed, the future for the port looks secure. The sea has provided a livelihood for generations of Orcadians, but in the past that meant heading out into the North Sea or even across the Atlantic to find work. The man in charge of delivering Orkney Harbour Authority's vision for the future says that's all about to change.
It's very much aimed at the young people in Orkney. It will give us 100 jobs from the very highest down to very technical, very detailed jobs. And that has the ability to switch into those youngsters going through school now, to keep them on the island by providing them the training and the background that allows them to grow and develop on island rather than have to go off island to seek those opportunities.
5,000 years ago, the inhabitants of Orkney erected huge circles of standing stones, constructed great burial mounds, and built finely engineered cairns, all carefully aligned with the position of the sun. Today in Orkney, the desire to build is as strong as ever, but modern-day developments are aimed at harnessing the power of not the sun, but the wind. The very element that has in the past helped carve out the Orkney landscape is now helping shape its future.